Well, all right, people. So we're here on day 49 of the lockdown. Of course, obviously, it's still going on here. Of course, some states have reopened a little bit, but what does that mean? A couple people get to go back to work, but I mean, most people are still out of a job, unfortunately. And I'm here to say it's really time to get back to work. I mean, you look at all the hardships that are going on, the economic hardships. I mean, we cannot sustain this for any longer. I mean, some people, well, this is an unsustainable model, but we're gonna have to do no. Like we got to get back to work, and it shouldn't be like it, back to all the way normal. There should still be some precautions, but to just shut everything down, it's not working. It's not it's not working, and these so-called experts are not right in their models. By the way, they keep saying, oh, they said in January, this wasn't going to be a big deal. Then they said 2 million people might die. Then they said 100,000 to 260,000. Then they said 60,000. Now they're back up to 100,000. It's like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So, and they told us that no, don't wear masks. Now everybody's wearing a fucking mask. So they tell us all these things that are not even right. So why should we even trust them? Um, I mean, I'm for freedom. I'm not for the government. Whenever the government tells me to not do something, oh, you can't do this, even though it's in the Constitution. You can't do this. You can't do that. Can't. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm free to make decisions for myself. Now, if you're scared of getting coronavirus, if you're an elderly population, if you're got pre-existing conditions, if you're scared, then stay home. Okay, just stay home. But for the rest of us who want to take that 0.003% risk of dying from the coronavirus, then I think we should be able to go back to work and make that decision for ourselves and take that risk. The argument is, well, you go out, you could get other people sick. Then don't go out in public. If you're so scared of of getting the coronavirus, which I understand if you're an older population, then don't go out. Stay home. But for people who need to put food on their table, for food on the table for their families, people that got to pay their mortgage, they have to go back to work. And to deprive people of that right is sickening. And they're talking about, again, a phase reopening. It's just crazy. And then you look on the internet and you see all these headlines, scare tactics of headlines. So I'm on the Drudge Report right now, which is unfortunately turned into a very liberal anti-Trump website. Um, so here's the headlines: Texas beaches packed, jungle out there. Trump admin models warn of doubling daily death toll by June. What else here? 373 asymptomatic carriers at one meatpacking plant. And in big headlines, second wave fears grow. 3,000 daily deaths by June? Question mark. So you see all these headlines that are meant to shock you, to make you scared. They've been really talking about in these last couple of weeks that there's going to be meat shortages. There might be meat shortages. So what do you think that is going to do? It's going to send everybody out to the supermarket to buy 10 pounds of meat and stick it in their fucking freezer. So that's a great job by the media to stoke panic and fear into people and really promote that shit. And you got Trump saying, oh, we're going to have no problem. We got this down. There's not going to be any meat shortages. Because if you say there's going to be meat shortages, then everybody's going to go out and buy a shit ton of meat, and there are going to be meat shortages. Might there be meat shortages? Yes. But it's wrong to, scare the American public like that. Or to put headlines like there may be 8,000, 800,000 coronavirus. There may be this. Of course there may be. A fucking plane could fucking fly out of the sky and kill me right now. There's a lot of things that may happen, but it's so uh, dishonest for the media to keep putting out these scare tactic headlines, and I'm sick of it. Um, Again, if you're scared of getting corona, just stay the fuck home. That's called freedom. It's like the libertarian aspect. Somebody says they stocked up on meat and chicken, and it's like I don't blame people for doing that. It's like in the few percent of the population that are dumb fucks, like with the toilet paper. and go out and buy and hoard it and create the shortages, well, then everybody's gonna do it because it's like you don't want to be out of fucking meat, you don't want to be out of anything. So you're naturally gonna hoard it because there's a couple people that are idiots and stock up on it and buy a shit ton of it. Same thing with meat. So the media says there's going to be a shortage. Well, then people are going to buy a shit ton of it. I mean, it makes sense, and that could lead to a shortage. So I mean, it's just crazy times we're living in, and I think a lot of the media is doing a very dishonest service to the American public, really scaring them. All they talk about is coronavirus. They don't talk about any of the secondary effects that this lockdown has had on people because of coronavirus. It's all about coronavirus, coronavirus. It's not about the people that are negatively affected from this lockdown. It's just about people who are affected because of corona. Um, and I'm really sick of hearing about the essential workers because it's not, there's more people in this world than just essential workers. And I guarantee you that there's a lot more people affected from this lockdown negatively than the people that are negatively affected who are essential workers. So I'm just really sick of hearing about the essential workers when nobody talks about the people that have lost their jobs because of this. Um, so I mean, I just hope we could end this soon. I mean, I'm seeing polls out there of and um, polls can be manipulated to make uh, make it look one way or the other, depending on the political views of the pollsters. But I'm seeing a lot of polls out there that say a lot of Americans are afraid of getting coronavirus. You know, if we reopen too quickly, you know, it might spread. It might, again, might. A lot of the things the experts have said have been completely wrong. So how can you even trust the experts anymore? Um, the only thing I can say is again, I'm for freedom. So I'm for people making up their own minds. I'm not for the government telling, hey, 300 some million people, you got to follow this rule. Coronavirus is something where, again, if you're scared to get it, just stay the fuck home. If you want to be a fucking pussy, then stay home. But if you need to get back to work, if you need to make money, then go back to work. You know, and if you want to take proper safety precautions and take proper, you know, take some safety precautions. Wear a mask if that makes you feel more comfortable. You know, use hand sanitizer 56 times a day if that makes you feel more comfortable. Wash your hands every 2 minutes if that makes you feel more comfortable. Um, but and something people don't seem to focus on now is like the immune system and the fact that if you have a strong immune system by living a healthy lifestyle, that's probably the best protector from coronavirus. You know, but hey, let's not even talk about that. Somebody says Whitmer called the protesters racist. Yeah, you know they have a big problem. Everybody has a big problem with the protesters. You know, using their First Amendment right to protest. Oh, you can't do that now. Apparently, the First Amendment is suspended. Just like that, you know, apparently government can just suspend constitutional amendments now. Apparently, Governor Whitmer, I was reading the Constitution the other day, and I didn't see anything in there that says Governor Whitmer has the authority to suspend the amendments, but apparently that's how it goes now. Um, and again, if you're scared, then just stay home. Like, what do these protesters have to do with anything? Like, if you think you might get the coronavirus, then just don't go to the fucking protest. Just stay home. I mean, it's pretty simple. Now I get the lockdown was so that the healthcare systems didn't get overwhelmed. Understood, and it's probably a good thing to do that. Um, at least maybe for the older populations that should have been in place. But I get the lockdown, but now the economy's in the shit. People are losing their jobs. People are want to get out. They want to exercise freedom and do what the fuck they want with their lives, but they can't because this lockdown is there's no end in sight. even though we flatten the curve, even though new cases aren't going up, we still got to stay in lockdown. So, somebody says, "What's up, Ruthless Ranter?" Well, not much. I am one of those people who are still on furlough right now. So, hopefully that ends soon because I am sick and tired of sitting in my house all day. I like to work, and even though I'm getting my unemployment check, I would much rather be working than sitting on my ass all day doing nothing. So that's why I'm making YouTube videos for the time being. So actually, it's stupid because a lot of people are making more with their unemployment checks than they are working, which makes no sense to me. How people are making more on unemployment than they are at their jobs, even though I'm going to take the fucking money, but the that doesn't incentivize people to get back to work. It's stupid. Like I get, maybe at a little bit, they had it 600, so people get on top of unemployment $600 a week for unemployment. 600 bucks extra a week, which is a lot of people don't even make that much. So, I mean, I get a little more because these are unprecedented times. These are times where a lot of people are getting unemployed through no fault of their own. So, but to have people making so much money on unemployment, it's dumb. It sucks not being able to enjoy the nice weather, says somebody. Yeah, I mean, they keep telling you, oh, go for a walk, go, go go out, go to a park, have a picnic. Like, no, I want to go back to work. That's what I want to do. Fuck going outside and going for a walk. Like, I mean, and the activities you could do are so limited that it's like, no, you can't fucking play organized sports. That's all. Even though fucking kids, like zero kids have, like two kids have died from the coronavirus. Schools are shut down. Can't play any sports. The baseball season's been suspended. For kids. Nope, can't do anything. Hey, but you can go for a walk. People are losing their jobs. People are going unemployed. People are going crazy because they can't fucking work. But it's okay because you can go for a walk in your park. You could take a boat. Thank God Governor Whitmer let us take our boats out on the lake. Thank God for that. People are losing their jobs. People are, on the brink of going out of business. Might not be able to put food on the table, might not be able to pay for their mortgages, but thank God we could all go out on our motherfucking boats. Yeah, thanks, Whitmer. Yeah, 49 days is too long. And the thing is, we don't know how long this is going to last. It's already fucking probably about 3-4 weeks too long being in this lockdown. Um, but yeah, so 49 days, and who knows how long it's going to last. I know Whitmer extended her emergency powers until the 28th, so she might extend this lockdown even further past the 15th. I know other states have been extending their lockdown. And of course, the media has been really upset over businesses opening, even though if they don't, they're probably going to go out of business. Oh my God, a fucking restaurant in Maine open. Oh my God. Can you believe that? Again, it's like so simple. If you don't want it, if you don't want to be exposed to it, then that's your right to not go out in public to the restaurant. But if I want to fucking spend my money at a restaurant and keep somebody's business afloat, then I have that right to go out to a restaurant. I'm fucking 22 years old. I might have already had coronavirus. I worked in fucking Detroit for a good fucking month during the fucking outbreak. So I might have antibodies. And chances are if I get coronavirus, it'll be very mild or asymptomatic. And I have that right to take risks in life. That's what life is. You take risks. When you go out on the fucking highway, you take a risk. When you go out on your fucking boat, you take a risk. You can kill somebody, but that's a necessary risk of life. Somebody says they are in New Hampshire, and even though hardly anybody has gotten the virus, we have a stay at home order until May 31st. Yeah. Again, it's like, oh, let's just take the whole United States and lock it down, even though there's certain sectors that are way more affected than others. even though there's counties that have maybe like 5 cases versus New York, which has hundreds of thousands, yeah, let's just shut everything down. This is why you have, local governments and state governments, and this is why the federal government isn't in control of everything in the whole country. It's because you have different sectors of of areas that are totally different, and you need a local government to make decisions like this, or you need a state government to make decisions like this. It's stupid. Like when Michigan says, "Well, we're gonna just," Whitmer says, "lock down everything." No, because you got fucking Detroit, which is rampant with coronavirus, and then you got fucking rural areas, like in the Upper Peninsula or along Lake Michigan or in the middle of the state that have very few cases. So you can't just put a blanket order on the whole state or the whole country and say, "Well, everybody's got to do this." Everybody, no. Um, First off, again, like I said, it's personal freedom to do what the fuck you want, and then also different areas are different in their coronavirus. So it's up to the governors or the local governments, I believe, to do that. And they're getting so up in arms about businesses. Oh my God, it could lead to a second wave. Oh my God. Well, you know what? How about we just lock down the economy until we get a vaccine then? Like is that the logic? Anything could happen. But like I said, life is full of risks. All right. And you got to weigh, certain risks in life. You can't just be like, well, how about everybody just quits their job so that way there's going to be no car accidents? No, I mean, you can't do that shit. There's more things in life than coronavirus. And that seems to be the only obsession of everybody, people in the media, so called health experts, so called, our leaders who are supposed to, politicians, elected officials who you could argue a lot of them aren't doing a good job right now. There are more things in life than coronavirus. If you look at the average person, there are a lot more things in life that affect them than coronavirus. How long do I think it will take the economy to recover? I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not an economist. A lot of it depends on when they open. If we stay closed for another few months, I mean, who the fuck knows? And there's different sectors of the economy. So I guess you could look at, well, the economy as a whole might recover in another year or two, but there's still going to be a large sector of people who are affected for years and years and maybe their whole lives before this, because there's a lot of small businesses that are going to go out of business because of this. So you can, it's easy to look at the economy as a whole, but you also got to look at, there's going to be a lot of people that are negatively affected by this for a long time. And I hope the economy comes back, but it might take a while. Trump is very optimistic, but again, it's hard to predict, because if they keep these stay-at-home orders in place, more and more businesses are going to go out of business. More people are going to be permanently laid off, and uh, our economy was doing very good before this, so I'm optimistic that um, if these stay-at-home orders get lifted, we can get back to normal, hopefully in a year or two. But it's going to take a while. And then they're talking, well, there could be a second wave in the fall, so we might have to lock down again or put restrictions on again in the fall. Fuck that. So it's hard to predict when the economy is going to come back, because you don't know how long these lockdowns are going to last. But it's quite maddening that that there's really um, nobody cares about the economic impact this has. Nobody really cares about the mental health impact this has. Nobody cares about what impact this has on people that have a medical condition that isn't coronavirus, because like I said, it's all about the coronavirus. Nobody talks about anything else except coronavirus right now. In the essential workers. Again, there's no concern for people that have lost their job. Nobody's fucking clapping on their balcony for people that have lost their job, but they're clapping for people who are essential workers. Which, great, you're working, you're doing a good job at work or whatever. But there's a lot more people that deserve clapping and deserve a thank you for the shit that they've gone through no fault of their own. So I really hope this lockdown ends soon. I mean, I get protecting the vulnerable population. I totally understand that, and encouraging people, but even the vulnerable population. If you're a fucking 80 years old and you want to fucking go out, then that's your right. That's your right to go out and put your life at risk. Again, every time you go out in your car, you put your life at risk. You could kill yourself or you could kill somebody else. Same thing with a lot of things in life. You put your life at risk. And would it be a lot safer to just stay at home? Yes. But then there's secondary risks to that as well. So, um, if you're a vulnerable population and you want to put your life at risk, then that's your right as an American. We live in a free country. We don't live in the Soviet Union. We live in America, where you have a right to put your life at risk if you really want to. That's called freedom. But so I get, but I still get protecting the vulnerable populations, encouraging them to stay at home, because they do have a much higher risk of dying from COVID than me, who will not. I guarantee you that there is about a 0% chance of me dying from coronavirus. I'm 22. I'm healthy. I am a healthy weight, so I am not dying from coronavirus. And there's a big part of the American population that has about a 0% chance of dying from coronavirus. And those are the people that should be allowed to go back to work, and not only should, but encouraged to go back to work, because we got to get our lives back to where they were. We got to get this economy rolling again. And then they're talking about, oh well, we might have to put in restrictions on certain industries, and take seats out or put in safeguards. And my immediate response to that is that could lead to extra cost on businesses. So I am really against those things too. So there you go, people. Day 49, which is exactly 7 weeks. You know, 7 weeks, and who knows how many lives have even been saved from this lockdown. Nobody really knows if this is even successful or not. It's not like the case counts have really been going down. I mean, they've been steady. The curve has been flattened, but it's not like you're seeing this great progress being made. So who knows how effective the lockdown even is? But again, day 49. Can you believe how long this lockdown was? First, it was 15 days, then 30. Who the fuck knows how long it's gonna go? So I'm really bored, and I really want to get back to work. But until then, probably just keep making some more live streams. So there you go, people. There's my thoughts. Day 49.